Hey guys, Troy from the Penergy Lifestyle. Welcome to today's talk about physical movement and the importance of physical movement and why a lot of the times we make it a lot harder than what it needs to be. And I think it's easy to get caught up in the idea that physical movement, exercise is something that's based around how we want to look. And the problem with that is that when we don't get the results that we want in the time frame that we've got the idea of when we want it to all happen, it starts to create a disconnect, and our ego starts to get involved. It's like, oh, this isn't happening. I'm not losing the weight. But the problem is when we start physical movement or exercise, it shouldn't be based on how we look or how we want to look. It should be based off how we feel, what's happening inside. Not just from a health point of view, but from a chemical reaction point of view. When you go and train or you do some sort of physical exertion, the chemical release and the endorphins that are released make you feel good about who you are. And feeling in life is the biggest key to having success in anything you do, especially when it comes to physical health. It's quite easy to get caught up in all the hype with, all the media and social media outlets and all the fitness gurus and people you follow, or their photoshopped images, or even if they're not photoshopped, those people dedicate their life and earn a living from looking a certain way. So they live that lifestyle to a level that can be quite unachievable for most of us on a day-to-day basis because they get paid to do that. That's who they are. It's an image they have to keep. So it's very unnatural to be at a very low body fat percentage, to be that shredded day in, day out, all year round. It's not actually normal. And even most of them won't remain at that particular look. When you see them on a magazine or you see them for a shoot, they're going to incorporate some sort of diet or a nutrition change to get to that level of look for that particular moment, whether it's a shoot, a magazine shoot, or a shoot just for their socials. So it's easy to get caught up in the look, but it should be about a feeling. I can admit that, when as a 16-year-old, when I first wanted to work out or start training, growing up in the 80s and 90s and watching, the Jean-Claude Van Damme's, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stallone, like all these movies, it's like, man, I want to look like that. I want to have a physique like that. And that's mostly where it started. But for me, my 20 plus years of training, it became so much more than that. And it became something that helped me mentally more than anything. Going to train and exercise was a coping mechanism and an outlet for me to get away from the day-to-day stresses of life. And it wasn't about, I went through stages where I used physical health and physical movement to really support me as a coping mechanism through times when I was, everything else in my life was really unhealthy, from, being an alcoholic at one stage or just a lot of alcoholism, to drug abuse and addiction. It was just, I don't know where it came from, but it was just something, an attachment for me that kept me in the world of physical movement and exercise. It was just a way for me to deal with depression, deal with anxiety. When I felt down, I'd go, and it was about a feeling. It was a feeling deep inside me that made the difference and what really connected me to physical movement. When you're starting out, any sort of exercise plan or wanting to change physically, it's not, the body can be put through extreme amounts of pressure and stress. And we see this in, elite sporting athletes, special forces soldiers, but we also see it in morbidly obese people and people that suffer from anorexia. And the reason, and what we're seeing here is we're seeing extremely strong mindsets, because the body can be hammered. It's the mindset that takes over. And in all those categories, whether it's from a healthy point of view in regards to being an athlete or a soldier that's going to walk into, oncoming, fire and battle, to someone breaking world records, it's the same mindset to someone who overeats and causes themselves to be, 150 kilos or 400 pounds, or someone who who has an image that they're fat when they're actually killing themselves because they're not consuming any food whatsoever, and they've gone down the anorexic path or the bulimic path. So those people, they all have an extremely strong mindset, except one area is directed towards being, healthy or healthier and being an athlete or a soldier, and the other is like self-destruction and sabotaging by eating yourself to death or starving yourself to death. But when it comes to physical movement, it should be looked at as it's a lifestyle. If you're signing up for a 12-week program to change your body and you're not actively doing anything, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because if you are quite overweight, it's going to take longer than 12 weeks, and you don't want to do it that quick. It's not about having any crash diets or restricting yourself. It's about understanding what's going into your body versus the energy you're putting out. It's about understanding that this is a lifestyle change. Being healthy and fit is a lifestyle. We get stuck in our sedentary lifestyles, and what that means is we are meant to be active. And now we have jobs where we sit at a desk at all days. We have the ability to order food straight to our mouth, basically, so we don't have to get up and move. We'll jump in a car to go for a 2-minute ride to the shops instead of taking 15 minutes out to walk there. And one of the biggest thing I find was with people that have kids, they use the kids as an excuse. Like, I have kids and I don't have time. You have the perfect fitness tool right in front of you. They're children. Children love to play. They love to run around. If you're handing them an iPad or some electronic device to get them out of your hair, not only are you sabotaging yourself, you're sabotaging your children. Now, I know technological advances have their place in society, and that's great. But if you're using that as a tool to free yourself up so you can sit on the lounge and watch TV, you've got to change your mindset. The mindset is the problem here. Now, you may say, you don't have kids. Well, that's not entirely true. My partner has a 3 and an 8-year-old. I get more value out of running around with them than when I do going to the gym these days, because for me, going to the gym now is just, I do it for a maintenance point of view. I've been doing it for 20 years, so my body doesn't really change that much. I can take time off and it doesn't affect me that much because it's a lifestyle. I don't have great genetics or a great physique. I'm on the other end. So there's some people that can add weight easily, and I'm the opposite. If I don't train, I lose a lot of weight, and it's not healthy for me as for my height and weight. So my size, my weight, and the body image that I like is very controlled by the amount of time I do spend in the gym and the amount of food I eat and what foods I do eat. And for me, I've got to a point where I love being able to take time off when I want it, and I love being able to push myself as hard as I want when I want to. And it's because I've created a lifestyle that if I don't go, I feel off. Like it's a reset function in my mind. That's like, if I haven't trained, there's something that's missing from my life, and I enjoy it. And that's where it comes down to. So when you're walking into a gym or any sort of exercise program, or you're wanting to get fit or lose weight, you don't have to go to a gym. Just take your dog for a walk. Go play with the kids. Physical movement is just about being active. If you're sitting around watching TV all the time, your job, you're sitting around all the time, you're restricting your own movement. So movement comes from you having the ability to go, okay, let's go and do something. Let's just go for a run in the park. Let's go for... I went to the kids' trampoline places. I had more fun there than them, I think. There's so many things you can do. So you don't want to restrict yourself by your own mindset. That's what's holding you back from physical movement. You've created sabotage and emotions and feelings around it being hard, and you not looking the way you want, but you're disregarding how you feel by actively moving. Go to yoga, go to martial arts, go to salsa classes, join a soccer team, anything. There's so much you can do that will benefit you in your future. But you have to remember that you're creating a lifestyle. It's about the food you eat. It's about how much you move. It's about your social environments and the people you spend time with. But at the end of the day, it's your choices, your decisions, and you need to make better choices, better decisions. Because if you're unhappy with where you're at, you've only got yourself to blame. That may sound harsh, but it's just the truth. No one has the ability to make our decisions And we put ourselves in the environments where we may be influenced to make the decisions we do. So change your environments, change your choices and decisions. Look at things as a lifestyle. Don't look at life as a 10-week this or a 12-week this. Look at it as this is going to benefit me for my future. I'm going to live longer. I'm going to be happier. I'm going to be healthier, and I'm going to feel better. Because physical movement at the end of the day is all about how you feel. How you look is a byproduct of being repetitively active in doing those things on a weekly basis, on a daily basis. So it's just about creating new habits, new beliefs. Now, when it comes to habits, the average human takes 66 days to develop a habit that no longer requires discipline. And what that means is from the onset, you have to have a certain amount of discipline where you get yourself up and take yourself there. Now, if you're going to start out some sort of exercise program, set yourself a 90-day process where you don't break from any of those habits you're going to put in place. Because if you can do that, then it becomes autonomous to the point where you don't require discipline because it becomes part of who you are. It becomes part of your lifestyle. So, physical movement, hugely, hugely important to the body. If you think of blood flow as a stagnant pond of water, that's where disease, bacteria, and all kinds of bad things grow. When you move, you get better blood flow, you get better oxygen transportation around your body, you get better movement of minerals and vitamins around the body. So movement there are so many different benefits, but has so much benefit in regards to the flow and movement, or in Chinese literature, what they call the qi, the flow of energy through the body. This can help actually down-regulate disease and issues within the body. So that's why physical movement with quality nutrition is highly beneficial for a better quality of life.